What's going on, everyone? Diskin Young here. So I wanted to talk about something that at one point supposedly Albert Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world. You're probably guessing what that is. It's of course compound interest. Yep, I'm sure that's exactly what everyone guessed. Compound interest as the eighth wonder of the world. But Albert Einstein also said if you know it and you can utilize it, it can be one of the greatest tools you've ever known about and one of the greatest wonders of your world. Also, he said if you don't understand it, you're going to be expecting to be paying it the rest of your life, which is very true. So I wanted to give a brief rundown on what compound interest is and how you can utilize it. So all around, there's two types of interest, okay? There is simple interest, which is most of the time when you think of interest being paid, it's most likely simple interest. This would be on most mortgage loans and things like that. Simple interest is just the interest paid on the initial principal of either the loan or the investment. So you're just making money and your interest on that initial principal. Compound interest, on the other hand, is you're making money on the initial investment plus, and that's the big part, plus you're making interest on that interest. So it's accumulating. So you're not only making the one-time interest, but it's compounding with the other interest. It's joining with the original principal, okay? It is plus the accumulating interest, okay? So you can think of this as a snowball effect, basically, of you have an initial investment, you gain a little bit of interest, that combines with the original part, that gets even more interest, combines, gets bigger, bigger. So if you look at a curve here, you'll see that the compound interest goes up dramatically at some point, more than simple interest. Okay, so compound interest sees the biggest results over the longer periods of time. Same can be said when you are paying for compound interest as well. So this would go with deferred credit card payments. If you're deferring your credit card payments, those are compound interest. You'll see the negative effects of compound interest. If you're making investments early and young and just keeping it in there, relying on that compound interest, you're going to see dramatic increases in your net worth with using compound interest. Now, I wanted to go through a few examples here. Mostly what I'm basing these examples off of are index funds. You can get around 7-9% on average. I have a Vanguard index fund, and if you look historically, that's around 7-9% returns, okay? So that's why I wanted to use going off on these examples here. So for the first example, and by the way, to do all these calculations, you can just literally Google compound interest calculator. The first one that comes up is the one most people use, and you can play around with that, play with your numbers and things like that. So first example, let's say you have $3,000. That's all you're gonna put as your initial investment. You're going to every single year, this is for, let's say, a normal working person's life, are adding $3,000, okay? So you're literally just adding $3,000 to this account every single year. Most people can afford to do so, okay? We're using the lower part of the interest rate, 7%, and for 35 years you keep into this account. It'll compound every quarter, so that's 4 times. At the end of the 35 years, everyone, you're going to have $485,167. Wow. So just from putting in $3,000 a year for 35 years, you're going to have almost $500,000 in that account based on compound interest. So the next one, this will really show you something. Let's say you put $10,000 into an account. Let's say you have a big rainy day fund, right? You take that $10,000, you put it in a index fund or whatever you want to do, and it'll get you 7%, and you never put any more principal into that. So you do a one-time payment of $10,000 for 40 years at 7%, and it's compounding every quarter. You're going to end up with $160,511 from a $10,000 investment. Wow. That shows the power of compound interest, okay? The last example I'll say here, you have $20,000, okay? Let's say you put it in a very, very safe account that only gets you 3%, okay? You have one-time payment, $20,000, you want to know what to do with it. It's your rainy day fund, whatever it might be. All you're getting is 3% a year. And let's say it only compounds once every year, okay? It's not quarterly. You keep that in account for 40 years. Maybe you put it in there when you're 30, you're not going to take it out till you're 70, or maybe you put it in when you're 20 and you're not going to take it out till you're 60, okay? So you put $20,000 in one time, you're going to have $65,000 in that account. So I just wanted to show kind of these examples and really kind of show you the power of what compound interest can do for you. And literally, if you start this young, this is mostly for younger people. You can, of course, do this when you're older, but I'm more kind of reaching for those 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old young entrepreneurs that have a little bit of money and want to know what to do with it. Utilize compound interest. As Albert Einstein might say, the eighth wonder of the world. All right, thanks guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe all my videos. It would really mean a lot to me. I have an Instagram account as well. It's at diskin.re. Again, that's diskin.re. I'll put a little thing right here for it. And yeah, everyone, let me know if you have any topics you want me to talk about. Otherwise, I'll just keep picking random ones, and hope you guys like it and get something out of it. All right, cheers.